I just came across this super interesting report about a microscopy analysis of a Pfizer-BioNTech Comirnaty vaccine sample, and I wanted to share this with everybody and put it into video format. This was posted by Dr. John B. on Twitter today. You can see how new it is. October 2021, it says on the title slide, a microscopy analysis. So just to preface, it says this analysis was performed with bright field and phase contrast microscopy and applying rigorous scientific and hygiene standards. 2 samples were analyzed from the same vial. So on the second tweet it says, focusing on the border of the drop, where the yellow arrow is, reveals tiny particles of different sizes and light refraction properties. So if we click on this, you can see here, this is the edge of a drop. And you can see here where we're zooming in on in the next slides. Zooming in, the larger particles were found to have a diameter of about 1 micrometer. Now, just so you know, a micrometer is 1,000 nanometers. For comparison, diameter of a human hair is between 70 and 90 micrometers. A human red blood cell is 8 micrometers. And they say SARS-CoV-2 is between 90 and 100 nanometers. So 1 micrometer is 1,000 nanometers. These larger black dots in here, these particles, are 0.837 micrometer, or 837 nanometers. So these larger black particles are between 8 and 9 times the size they say the SARS-CoV-2 virus is. So the diameter of a human hair is about 95 times larger than this dot here. It goes on to read, the smaller particles are about 0.5 micrometers, or 500 nanometers in diameter. You can see here labeled are a couple of them. And let's go full screen on this. Very peculiar. The doctor continues, some particle aggregations were also visible in the liquid. So you can see down here, this is 10 micrometers, this little line segment. And you can see there's all of this void area. But then in this spot right here, they really aggregate together and cluster together. Some of them even larger than others. I'm not even sure if these particles are even similar in composition or purpose. Very peculiar, isn't it? Let's go to the next slide. It reads, fiber-like structures can also be seen. Their diameter is in the nanometer range. Remember, a human hair has a diameter of about 70 to 90 micrometers. So look at these fiber-like structures. Very, very small. He says some of them look like a continuous fiber, A and C, the ones on the left, and some have branches, the ones on the right, B and D. Let's check these out. So if we're looking down here at this line segment, 10 micrometers, the diameter of a human hair is between 7 and 9 times this line. Gives us some context. So I'm not sure what this object is here that it seems to be going through. What are these threads? There are no ingredients that I know of that should look like this. What are these? What are these objects? Look at these. What? It's got branches coming off of it. That is creepy. Very small, too. Much, much smaller than a human hair. So moving along, it says, more fiber-like structures. A ring-like structure was seen once. You see down here on the bottom right. Let's look at this full screen. These look like more of the fibers. And what's this stuff over here? Here's another one with the distance calculated. Remember, human hair is 70 to 90 micrometers. And here's a circle-looking one. Like, that's almost a perfect circle. And the diameter of this circle here is 8.5 micrometers. So you need about 10 of these side by side to be the diameter of a human hair. And here are some more distances measured. This one is 15.4 micrometers and this one 9.774. And I'm also confused about what this bright burst of light is on this one. And we're going to see that more and more. Maybe it's just the high contrast. So the next slide reads, a further class of particles, comparatively large and with unique light refraction properties. They come in different shapes, for example, rod-like and squares. Again, very vibrant colors here. So I'm not sure what we're looking at here, but this looks bizarre to me. And here's another object. What is this? What are these? And here's another one. And then finally this one as well. Looks jaggedy. Here's another one. More of these objects. This one is 15.4 micrometers long. Wow, look at this. Very peculiar. What the hell is this stuff? This blob here. It's a very interesting texture and appearance. And then finally these. This looks like a rod. What the hell are they injecting into people? Here are some more photos. What is this? This looks like broken glass. And of course, note at the bottom right, for each of these photos, it has the scale for us. Look at this one. 6.8 micrometers across. And then this one. What is that? It looks like a spiral. 25 micrometers across. Moving on, it says, a few unusually shaped objects were found. For example, a 45 micrometer long ribbed structure and a particle of about 10 micrometers in diameter with some spikes attached. So what the hell is this? Very concerning. And then this is the ribbed structure, 45 micrometers across, which is about half the diameter of a human hair. And then what is this? This looks like it has spikes coming out of it. That looks gnarly. Not sure why the light is so colorful right here and bright. And the scale here, just for reference, 10 micrometers. And then finally this object. Looks like it's about 50 micrometers in width and height. And then it gets really bizarre here. It says, parts of the liquid crystallized after about 15 minutes. Encapsulated areas can be seen with crystallized objects of different sizes inside. It's almost beautiful. The doctor writes. Wow. What the hell is this? I'd love to know. Sometimes these encapsulated crystallized areas, indicated by the white arrow here, contained objects with different light refraction properties to the particles surrounding them. And then, of course, also look at this yellow arrow. What is this? I'd really like to know. Very concerning. The next picture says, oval-shaped encapsulated crystallized structures can be seen. Look at this. And the distances are noted as well. This first one, 31 micrometers. So 1/30th of a hair diameter. And then this one, 65 micrometers. And it's clearly the same outline. And you can see the ring of colors. It's almost like a rainbow on the perimeter. What is that? He writes, these oval-shaped encapsulated crystallized structures have complex internal substructures with compartmentalization and particles of different sizes. Let's look at this photo. These are stunning. What is this? It's like a circle and then another object inside and then more objects inside that. And then everywhere else, there's very few objects. Here are two next to each other. There's a much different appearance in the void between and around these objects versus what's inside of them. Then there's this one. I mean, it seems to be a pattern here. It's not just one fluke example. And then we have this one here. What the hell is this stuff? If anybody knows, let me know. timchurch@protonmail.com. And then the last photo here says, one oval-shaped encapsulated crystallized structure was found attached to a fiber-like object with a diameter of about 10 micrometers. And then they've also zoomed in for us in the top left. You can see the space that was zoomed in on, marked in this white rectangle over here on the left. But look at the big picture. What is this? This is creepy. It's like a thread-like object, but it's not a consistent width along the entire thread. It's like fat in some spaces. And then look here at the zoom in. Very strange. If anybody knows what this is, send me an email. And then finally, the conclusions. It says, the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccine contains particles and objects of different shapes, sizes, and light refraction properties. Complex aggregates and crystallization of these particles and objects were found. The nature, chemical properties, elemental composition of these particles and objects is unknown. Careful interpretation of these images is required. The objects could simply be the ingredients of the vaccine or contaminants, which we have seen before, especially in Japan. Or maybe Japan just vets their vaccine better, but they say they found black stainless steel particles in Moderna vaccine, and they said they found some white stuff in Pfizer's vaccine. It says, finally, there is an urgent need to further investigate the ingredients and purity of the COVID vaccines, and I could not agree more. We've seen so many interesting experiments and photos coming out of different people's analysis of these vaccines, so-called vaccines. And I've got a few more to do, so make sure to subscribe at timtruth.com for all the reports. Let me know in the comments, or better yet, send me an email if you know what's going on with these bright field and phase contrast microscopy photos. I find it all very interesting and puzzling. So I'll leave it there. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me know what you think. Have a great rest of your day.